Hey, Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. We got a great Ask a Ninja from Elaine in Greenfield, Indiana. And she's got a question about whether she should do maybe a partial encapsulation or a full encapsulation. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to read you what Elaine said, but before I get into that, I wanted to let you know that we cover everything about crawl spaces, basements, attics, and ductwork here at Crawl Space Ninja, so we hope you'll subscribe to our channel and ring that notifications bell. And if you like this video, I hope you'll like the video down below. Okay, so here's what Elaine asked. Having difficult time making a decision whether to encapsulate my crawl space, or the second plan is to put in crawl space drainage with new vapor barrier on floor only and a dehumidifier with a new pump. A competitor in Indiana said that if I didn't encapsulate the crawl space, that the dehumidifier would run all the time. I have mold and condensation, and I plan to move in about 5 to 8 years. If I go with the second plan, how long will the mold stay away, and how long will the dehumidifier ask? I trust your opinion and thank you. Well, thank you, Elaine, for trusting our opinion. And a couple things that you mentioned in the Ask a Ninja is, number one, you did say you had mold, and I just want to be clear that encapsulating the crawl space does not necessarily address the mold. Okay, so if the plan is not to visibly and physically remove the mold, then encapsulation option A or option B, even with the vapor barrier and the dehumidifier installed, is not going to do anything for the mold that's in the crawl space. So that's number one. You did also ask, and I'm assuming you're not addressing the mold based on the question, but if you are, if your plan is to address the mold, if you're going to visibly remove it with either hand scrubbing it, HEPA vacuuming it, soda blasting, dry ice blasting, whatever it is you're planning on doing to physically remove the mold and then apply a disinfectant, then the mold will stay away as long as the wood is dry and the humidity is under control. Remember, mold needs high humidity and wet wood. The wood is the food source, the humidity is the water source, in order to come back, okay? Now that doesn't mean that if you have a plumbing leak or something, it can't come back, because remember that even with the dehumidifier, if you've got a constant flow of water on the wood, it could still grow mold. So that's barring any kind of plumbing leaks or anything like that. So to answer your question, your competition is correct in that if you don't fully encapsulate, and I want to be clear about what that means. What we consider, and what most of the competitors consider, a full encapsulation is plastic on the floor, plastic wrapped around the pillars, and plastic up the wall, and that could or may not include a termite barrier or a termite gap, depending on what part of the country you're in. So that's what encapsulation means to most of us. And the reason why they say the dehumidifier could run constantly, in their words, is because the cinder block or the foundation wall does allow moisture to come in if there's a moisture problem on the outside. Okay, so the whole reason why you would want to put plastic on all the walls and on the floor and the pillars is to help keep that water from evaporating into the crawl space. Okay, so that's the whole reason why the plastic is there, is to slow the evaporation. So the less plastic covering those materials, the more your dehumidifier is going to have to run. It's kind of like if you open your refrigerator door every 10 minutes, it runs more than if your refrigerator door is closed all day long, right? Because it has to make up for that hot, humid air going into the refrigerator. Well, the dehumidifier is basically doing the same thing. So my name's Michael Church. Hope that answers your question out there, Elaine in Indiana. And by the way, if you're an entrepreneur in the Indiana area, we don't have a Crawl Space Ninja out there yet, and I'm sure people like Elaine would love to have us out there. So hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.